Alright, hey guys, I'm back with another tutorial, and this time I'm less sick, so I'm not gonna sound really bad. But anyways, so the last tutorial did really well and helped a lot of you guys out. And on the last tutorial I asked you guys if you guys could ask like what you want me to cover next. So two people asked if I cover over combat slash fighting. So that's what I'm gonna do. With fighting, the thing is with fighting is I try to go for an anime style. I guess I could do realistic, but to me realistic is very boring and it's a little bit complicated. Not really complicated, but it's a little bit harder to cover because you have to do the pacing of it a little bit slower than anime fighting. If you've ever watched anime fights, they're very fast and consistent, so you don't have to animate as much because you just have people just flying around and stuff, which is what I like to do. But if you're gonna do realistic, it has to be slow. It's not as fast, the fighting. That's why I don't like doing it. So with me I have two Steves that I just imported by doing that, but the difference is that I have folders on them. And the reason why is because whenever I do anime fighting, I don't really like doing it with any other fighting. But when it comes to anime fighting, I like using folders for each certain thing. So I have one folder for the Z, which is this. So this folder will only be used to go forward in a straight direction. I have the X folder, which is only going to go this way. You don't ever make them cross, meaning this is the Y folder right here, meaning the Y folder, I'm only going to move this folder up and down. That's it. I should never have to move it across or diagonal. I like doing it like that because it's easier on the animation process. So that's really like the basic layout of it. Everything else is going to get complicated real quick. So I'm going to really quickly give these two poses. Okay, I did two different poses, one that's very try-hard and one that isn't. So the try-hard is going to be the one that's going to do the movements, while the other one's going to be doing the dodging. Keep in mind, I'm doing this as a very rough idea, so at the end of this tutorial, if it's not as anime as my usual fighting stuff is, it's a tutorial. So I'm just trying to cover it as the easiest way possible for you guys to understand. So I'm just going to have this guy just sort of fly at him with a kick. And then maybe have this guy like grab that leg, throw him. The one thing about anime fighting, you never want to have a pause. It's always constant. You always have characters moving when it comes to anime fighting. So for me, I like to actually, you know what? I'll just put an example of something that I made in the past. Alright, so you see how with that, I didn't have a lot of pauses. I only added pauses where needed. You need to do the same thing, but with anime fighting. Don't add pauses in between fights unless if it's necessary. Meaning, like, let's just say the two characters are fighting and, I don't know, a bystander gets involved. They both stop and notice that there's a bystander in the background. That's really it. You don't want it to be an awkward stare, like an awkward stare in between the fights. Maybe in the beginning, but no, not in between. So anyways, let's start animating this. I'm gonna animate this guy leaning back because he's about to get ready for that anime stuff. The next tutorial that I'm gonna do is probably going to be over the anime effects, which I'm not going to cover all of it because I got to keep some stuff to myself, you know, because then, I don't know, I would just have people asking me for a bunch of projects that I use. Oh, excuse me. I didn't think I would sneeze in the tutorial. Alright. So I'm just going to have him sort of crouch because he's getting ready for that build up. Then maybe lean back. Just getting ready for that epic punch, you know? And let's see. Why is it back? I'll later go back and add transitions to it. I'm just gonna do it linear for now. Actually, you know what? I'll do this. He'll do a front kick. This guy will back up and dodge it. And then this guy's gonna do a backflip and another kick. Now, this looks really choppy because it's just this. Because obviously, you know, you gotta make it as smooth as you can. With me, I like to add some pauses, not really pauses, but like some slow-mo in it. So that's why right towards the end, like right here, it's like really weird. I'm gonna make it better though. Like I said, all that I'm doing is just animating it linear first, and then I'll add transitions afterwards. And maybe make it a little bit so you could see it more. I might cover a little bit of the effects today, I don't know. So, see how I'm already done, if you don't believe me. I'm already done because I animated the positioning part for this guy. Now, there's not really an X axis that's needed for it, because he's going in a straight kick and then jumping backwards and doing another kick. But for the Y, this one, he's gonna go up and then down, right around here, and then goes up. Add some slow-mo, and then blah, lands it again. For this, I'm gonna use that because dramatic, and maybe make this higher. Sorry about that. Alright, so this looks really bad, obviously. Just work with me. I'm just gonna add some more slow-mo. Maybe make it a little bit higher. Thing about when you're animating with multiple folders, you gotta make the delays good, because if not, it'll get really weird on you. Alright, I think I should start adding transitions because I can't really animate this linear without you guys being able to understand what's happening.
And I see the sun, it sets down on my tired city. Wind blowing on my face, I wonder if it's drifting to somewhere far away. I like to come along.
I like using elastic for the power effect, you know?
I see the sun, it sets down on my tired city.
And make this, you want to make it fast but not too fast, because then the viewer will get very distracted.
Side of the bed, still broke, still dope, but it's all in my head. I got hope, got love, got spot on the edge. I got goals, got flows, and I'm trying to wed. I might go deep, hoping you'll be okay. I can't wait until I see the day. No sleep, hold dreams and pillowcases. Now we gon' see it so amazing. No choice, but I ain't set controlling me, holds me down to the ground when I'm feeling so over me. Get surrounded by sounds, thinking this how it's supposed to be. I ain't feeling the only, and I ain't hit with the rosary, but I got hope, got faith in this. I feel great, feel
okay, now that the Y is done, we're gonna use the rotate. The rotate, I have technically two rotations. Steve, which is the main object, and then another folder called rotate. You can do that by upping the 16Y on the folder, making the Steve 0, and taking the body, the right leg and left leg, and turning those to -16. I think there's a custom rotation point that you can do now. Yeah, there's a custom rotation point that you can do now with your Steve. So if you don't want to do that, you can just enable custom rotation point and move the rotation point on the Steve to where the rotation point is like right in the middle of the stomach, or like right on the stomach area. So when you rotate the Steve, it rotates like this, you know, so you can do like flips and stuff easier. That's just me personally. I like doing the traditional way because that's what Kazukoja told me back in his, I don't even know how old his old tutorial was, but his old tutorial was explaining the rotation point. So ever since then, I just sort of got used to doing the traditional way instead of changing the rotation point on the legs. Anyways, let's see. So for this, we want that leg to sort of take shape. Let's see here.
Well, you and me have always been so simple-minded, watching clouds, watching stars. Well, you and me both thought we knew where we were going. I wonder where it went wrong.
And then rotate it again. Well, let me first animate the stomach. Whenever I animate fighting, I probably recommend that you guys use linear because of the amount of frames that you got to put in. And if you use like any other frame, any other transition other than linear, it'll just start overlapping and it'll look really weird. So I don't really recommend that you add any other transition.
see the sun, it sets down on my tired city. Wind blowing on my face, I wonder if it's drifting to somewhere far away. I like to come along it, I like to come along it. Oh, I like.
Then right here we could actually start using the Steve rotating.
Side of the bed, still broke, still dope, but it's all in my head. I got hope, got love, got spot on the edge. I got goals, got flows, and I'm trying to wed. I might go deep.
And we can use this one too.
Okay, I can't wait until I see the day. No sleep, hold dreams and pillowcases. Now we gon' see it so amazing. No choice, but I ain't sad. Controlling me, holds me down to the ground when I'm feeling so over me. Get surrounded by sounds, thinking this how it's supposed to be. I ain't feeling this only, and I ain't hit with the rosary, but I got hope, got faith in this. I feel great, feel dope, trying to take a breath. So my friends, no pros, gon' hate on this. See nice colors every day, no.
There's like an awkward pause right here, and I don't really like it. It's just to give y'all an idea. And then, bwop. The rotations eventually will get very wonky on ya. So that's why you should use folders, so you don't have to worry about stuff like this. Alright, let me animate the Steve fixing himself.
Well, you and me have always had the worst of judgment. I do what's best in my heart. And have you realized it's always the same? This world is changing, but the patterns stay the same.
This man's so majestic. Alright, let's animate this leg now.
Well, you and me have always been so simple-minded, watching clouds, watching stars. Well, you and me both thought we knew where we were going. I wonder where it went wrong. They want a story, I'ma tell them that. They want to see I got the visions, want the change.
Something like this.
Yeah, I wish you held back to find myself, but I am not the same as who I left. No, I am not the same. I'm reinvented from the head, so still I'm on that same roll. Still I'm gonna just
Now, make the we'll make the body all majestic. Maybe a delay right here. Maybe I'll use quadratic right here. It's not really noticeable. So, we're almost there. I just need to animate the head, which is just like a light amount, and then the arms.
I may not animate the Steve, just be the other one, because that will take a while, and I'm already doing a lot for just the main action. You can just repeat the same process of how I animated the Steve, but obviously he's doing a different action, so just, I don't want to say figure it out, but you kind of have to. So I mean, if you need help with animating, well, if you need help on how to animate someone dodging it or whatever, I can try to help. No promises though, cause that takes time, you know? And I have to, honest to God, work on Forsake. It looking derpy right here don't really matter, because you don't even notice it because of how fast the action is. But I mean, if you want to do it frame by frame, sure. Let's see. Maybe have this arm sorta go inward halfway, and then right here sort of goes like that, because he's about ready to let loose. Something like that. And then for this arm, have it sort of go inward, then maybe an ease in, and then linear, because he's showing off that power. Let's see. What else? This arm.
They want a story, I'ma tell them that. They want to see I got the visions. Want the change, I'll make the difference. And you know that I'll be searching till I bring it back. Yeah, I went through hell and back to find myself, but I am not the same as who I left. No, I am not the same. I'm reinvented from the head. So still I'm on that same mode. Still I'm grinding just to reach the payroll. Since I was like yay tall and yay oh, I was always cooking, you was feeding up the J.O.s. I ain't really know it, but I should though. I ain't really get it, but I could though.
Let me see, maybe this is better. Maybe not have the feet dangle. I don't know. It's just for the tutorial. It's not perfect. So now that we're done with this, with like him doing the action or whatever, I can just, I'm just gonna animate the Steve. I'm not even gonna animate this Steve. I'm sorry. This tutorial is already long as it is. I'm not gonna do that. So I might just have him like that. I'll leave a download to this project file so you guys can see how I do keyframing and stuff. Because I know that some people in the past would DM me like, oh, do you have a project file that you can send me so I get an idea of how you animate? So sure, I can send this over. I mean, if you want. So anyways, that's pretty much it. I'm not going to go over the effects. In the next tutorial, I'm going to go over doing Mine-Imator effects with, because there's some effects that I like to do, like visual effects that I can do in Mine-Imator, and then there's others that I like to do in After Effects. I was thinking of covering them in this tutorial, but this tutorial is already long as it is. So anyways, hopefully this tutorial helped with anime fighting. I know that the sample is very it's not super anime, but it's just to give you guys an idea. I promise that Forsake isn't this meh with the fighting. At least I'm gonna try not to make it that bad. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this tutorial, leave a like and comment what you guys want me to cover on the next tutorial. Anyways, take care everyone.